trying to kill us, and somebody out there is to blame, and this is the dynamic that they love living in. That's just what it is. That's the boomer dynamic, is just we love fear. They have really attached themselves to fear. They have had it the easiest of maybe any generation to have ever lived, ever, and they still somehow find things to complain about. It's kind of impressive. It's just damn fucking impressive when you could talk to people that for a lot of them have inherited houses, gotten great jobs, were able to go to colleges very cheaply, made it. If they weren't in Vietnam, they kind of skated by without any serious military commitments in their lives unless they were voluntary. Yes, there was a boom and bust cycle in the economy, and of course they went through periods of economic hardship, but that's everybody. I mean, there was nothing like the Great Depression, and I don't think there was too much like the financial crisis in 2008. I mean, the early 70s were bad, and the 80s, parts of that sucked for different people. But the people I'm talking about kind of skated by. They kind of did really well through all of these things, and again, they either idolize Trump or hate him. He is the center of their universe in a good or a bad way. And because, again, they want, it's either Rachel Maddow or Tucker Carlson. It is fear-based, kind of end of life. We don't know what else to do. We've done it all. All the hippie bullshit never was realized. Any of that stuff never really happened. We all became yuppies. And then we all bought houses in the suburbs. And then we are all now, huddled in these houses in the suburbs and angry and just looking outside the windows. There are people coming to kill us, and we got to defend our, So I get it, but I mean, it's just like, that's part of why I like the suburbs. I like living in this house, but I wonder if I could live in like a modern apartment, because my goal would be to kind of live in that modern apartment and still keep that fear and that anger from the suburbs and bring it into the city. Keep that fear, that sense of being aggrieved, that sense of perpetual victimhood, that sense of just churning, angry, violent, nasty entitlement, and bring it into this kind of modern communal living situation, and one by one poison everybody that lives there, one by one, But listen, folks, here's the reality. You shouldn't talk if you haven't had COVID. Everything's about, you should just have COVID. And if you don't have it, make it up that you had it. Because I know people now that are almost provably doing that. They're provably making up that they had COVID, and they're medicating COVID with things like Percocet, which is not a prescribed thing. And then they're saying things that have nothing to do with COVID, like they're saying, yeah, I had a physical fight with, I beat up my boyfriend, COVID. I beat up my girlfriend, hey, I threw my wife down the stairs. You know how it goes, COVID. So that's where we're at now. If you haven't had COVID, invent that you've had COVID, because no one's going to take you seriously. So as of right now, I'm going to let everyone know, last week I beat COVID. I punched my mother in the face. I robbed a bank. I bought a bunch of guns. I went to the Capitol, and I stormed in, and I went and I put a fucking pen, and I held Nancy Pelosi, and I held the pen to her neck. And you know why? Because COVID! Good night.